So, like, 80% of people actually quit right before their biggest breakthrough.
Yeah, which is just wild.
Right. But the truly crazy part is that the main symptom you're on the verge of massive success is this intense, almost overwhelming desire to just give up.
Well, yeah, it feels entirely counterintuitive. I mean, we usually interpret that urge to quit as a clear signal that our strategy is just, fundamentally broken.
Exactly. Which brings us to the mission for today's deep dive. We're taking a look at the hidden mechanics of quitting.
Mm.
Specifically, we're applying these 5 distinct signs that you're closer to your goals than you think directly to your personal career growth. We want to make sure you don't stall out right before your own professional breakthrough.
Because misinterpreting the friction of progress is, like, the single biggest reason people abandon a career path that was actually working.
Okay, let's unpack this. Think about what happens internally when you try to level up at work. It usually kicks off with this low-grade, persistent frustration, and then it quickly spirals into serious discomfort and, intense self-doubt.
Oh, absolutely. The self-doubt is always the loudest.
It really is. It makes me think of a hermit crab outgrowing its shell. Like, you have to abandon the old cramped shell to grow, but the second you do, you're completely soft, exposed, and vulnerable to every predator out there.
Yeah, and mechanically, your brain responds to that vulnerability the exact same way a hermit crab does, with sheer panic.
Wait, really? Just panic?
Literally panic. At a neurological level, your brain hates the career growth phase. I mean, it is wired for efficiency and predictability.
Oh, so it just wants to stay comfortable.
Exactly. When you push into that new career tier, you're forcing it to burn massive amounts of energy, forming new neural pathways.
Right.
So that sudden spike in self-doubt isn't like some mystical warning from the universe. It's literally your brain trying to trick you into retreating to your old energy-efficient comfort zone.
Okay, so the frustration isn't a sign that I'm bad at my job. It just means I'm in that exposed gap between the old shell and the new one.
Yeah, think of that discomfort as a mandatory biological tax on growth. You are breaking established patterns. If leveling up your career felt entirely comfortable, it would mean you weren't actually changing anything at all.
Wow. Okay, so your brain is screaming at you internally, telling you to retreat. And that makes it infinitely worse when you desperately look around for some external validation that this is all worth it.
And you find almost nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Just tiny, inconsistent results. But I have to push back here for a second.
Sure.
If I'm putting in massive effort, networking, pitching new projects, applying for senior roles, and I'm only seeing tiny, erratic wins, how do I know I'm not just on the completely wrong path?
That's a really fair question.
Like, maybe my strategy is just bad. Yeah.
Well, it really comes down to the critical distinction between zero momentum and delayed momentum.
Okay, what's the difference?
So zero momentum means absolutely no response over a long period. But those tiny inconsistent wins, like a single email reply from an executive or one piece of unprompted positive feedback
Right.
on a pitch,
Right.
that is proof of concept. The lag time between your initial effort and a visible, massive reward is where the 80% mark lives.
Oh, wow.
And this is where we have to fundamentally reframe that urge to quit. You need to view it as an active structural filter.
Wait, explain that. How does the urge to quit function as a filter?
Well, the friction you experience at 80% isn't just a byproduct of the corporate system, it is the system.
Wow.
Yeah, that massive wall of exhaustion and doubt is actively designed to weed out your competition. Everyone who succeeds hits this exact breaking point.
So everyone feels it.
Everyone. The ones who get the promotion or launch this successful business aren't the ones who never wanted to quit. They're simply the ones who recognize that the intense desire to quit was the final test.
Man, that changes everything. So what does this all mean for you and your career? It means that if your professional journey right now is leaving you feeling exhausted, completely over it, and ready to walk away,
Do not stop.
yeah, do not stop. You are likely sitting right inside that 80% filter.
Because understanding that mechanism gives you a massive competitive advantage. When the friction peaks, you know the filter is doing its job, clearing the less determined competition out of the path ahead of you.
Exactly. So we'll leave you with this final thought to ponder as you look at your own goals. What if that overwhelming urge you feel to abandon your current career path isn't a warning that you're about to fail,
Right.
but the absolute best proof that you finally reached the exact boundary of your next breakthrough?